ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। From shloka number 10. Sarvabhutastam सर्वभूतस्तमात्मानं
सर्वभूतस्तमात्मानं
सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि
सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि
सम्पश्यन् ब्रह्म परमम्
सम्पश्यन् ब्रह्म परमम्
याति नान्येन हेतुना।
याति नान्येन हेतुना।
Yeah, I see some perplexed looks. So we are in Kaivalya Upanishad. Okay, today is Kaivalya Upanishad. Wednesday morning, which is Tuesday in the US, is Viveka Chudamani. And the day after would be Mundaka Upanishad Bhashya. Just in case. Okay, next one. Atmanam Aranim Kritva
आत्मानम् अरणिं कृत्वा
Pranavam Chottaranim
प्रणवं चोत्तरारणिं
ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासात्
निर्मथनाभ्यासात्
पाशं दहति पंडितः
पाशं दहति पंडितः
स एव माया परिमोहितात्मा
स एव माया परिमोहितात्मा
शरीरमास्थाय करोति सर्वम्
शरीरमास्थाय करोति सर्वं
स्त्यन्नपानादि विचित्रभोगैः
त्यन्नपानादिविचित्रभोगैः
स एव जाग्रत् परितृप्तिमेति
स एव जागत् परितृप्तिमेति
स्वप्ने स जीवः सुखदुःखभोक्ता
स्वप्ने स जीव सुखदुःखभोक्ता
स्वमायया कल्पितजीवलोके
स्वमायया कल्पितजीवलोके
सुषुप्तिकाले सकले विलीने
सुषुप्तिकाले सकले विलीने
तमोभिभूतः सुखरूपमेति
तमोभिभूतः सुखरूपमेति।
Yeah. That's where we stopped, I think.
धन्यवाद है.
So if somebody asks us in Kaivalya Upanishad what methodology she means Upanishad, she uses to teach Brahma Vidya, if somebody asks, we should be able to confidently say that at least one methodology I know, and that is Avasthatraya Prakriya. Avasthatraya Prakriya, the analysis of the three states of experience: waking, dream, and deep sleep. That we must be able to confidently say. That's the shloka we are studying here also. Swapne is there, and then the next sentence, Sushupti Kale. So the purpose of analyzing these experiences, and this is uncanny, analyzing these three states of experience, what you accomplished in your life, and who you are in your life, all the problems, all the successes, all the failures, everything are all there. That is what we call samsara, and we are seeking some kind of relief from that samsara. Is there a permanent relief? Not even some kind of relief, permanent relief. Shastra cannot give some kind of relief. Some kind of relief, if Shastram gives, then it won't be called Shastram. Even motivational speakers give us that kind of some kind of relief. Even you can buy a book from the bookstore and look at all this section and psychology and self help and self improvement. There is like this. There are so many sections. You can pick up any of those books. I'm telling you, those books are very good. I've read many of those books. Very good they are. All thought out, and people have spent time on it, and they've written those books. And many of those, among them, there are even best books also, and very good tips. They give you tips. What are the things you should do? How to assess yourself, and how to make a list of prioritize. Then prioritize all the improvement opportunities. And if I'm angry, then I'm getting angry all the time. So then, okay, list that as number one. Just focus on that, and here are ways to work on that. It's an excellent way to improve ourselves, and we should do all of that. And so Shastram does not eliminate all those things. We are supposed to do all that. And so Shastram is not trying to make us feel good. It is not trying to give us a few tips for us, even though we will end up getting a lot of tips. But tips are secondary. Shastram is talking about something that we don't know. And Shastram is saying you're confused about yourself, that's why you're suffering. And it's my job to tell you what I mean by that. So, and so it's one of the ways Shastram uses to tell us that is by analyzing the three states of experience. This is how we get into this. So we saw last time Swapne Sajivaha Sukha Dukkha Bhokta Swamayaya Kalpita Jiva Loke. Often we talk about Maya. Maya. Maya is the cause of this world. Even Brahman cannot cause the world, create the world. And Brahman with Maya is Ishvara, like that we say. And that's why Ardhanarishwari is there. Shiva and Parvati both have to be together. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Bhavati Yadi. So unless Shiva and Shakti come together, creation is not possible, like that Shankaracharya says in Saundarya Lahari. So there we use the word Maya, and we spend so much time on it. Here is a Swamayaya, attributing that Maya to myself, to the self, to the jivaha, to that individual who is sleeping, who is dreaming right now, who is dreaming. So Swamayaya, because who created this dream world? If somebody asks, it can't be my neighbor, it can't be my son, daughter, wife, husband, it can't be any of them, because they are having their own dream. They are going to tell us, don't disturb me. Please don't disturb me in the middle of sleep by asking all these questions. You may be having a bad dream, but I'm having a good dream, okay? So don't disturb me. So that's what they will say. So Swamayaya, he says that Maya, because I am ignorant, but there is all the vasanas that are there, and the law is such that it is possible for a human being to project a world, project a universe. That is what he's saying. Swamaya. Yeah. The other day I said I would tell you a small story about this Maya. So, what is Maya? One of the definitions of Maya is that which makes the impossible possible. Correct? Agatita Ghatana Patiyasi Maya. That is a Sanskrit sentence. That which makes the impossible possible. All right. So, those days means some years ago when there were kings, queens, and ministers and things like that, when we did not have airplanes and trucks and cranes and all that. Elephants were they were the workhorse, right? So you imagine, go back so many hundreds of years or even 1,000 years. Okay. And then there used to be families that had elephants and they would use the elephants for service. Either they would rent out the elephants. Rent out means they will do the service for others by using the elephants to log, pull, drag all these logs of wood or whatever, concrete. They were constructing those days also. Construction was there. Construction industry was very much there. So that's how they used to do. So this family, the father is now in the last stages, lying down in the bed, and he's written a will, and he gives some advice to his people, and he had three children, and he said, I've written a will. After I pass away, you just read the will and follow the instructions, like that. It's a united family it was. And so he passed away. And then they opened the will after father passed away, and then they saw the will, and it said, my first son or daughter, it doesn't matter, first son, let's say, gets half my assets. My assets are basically elephants. They are my only assets. Everything else is immaterial. And so, half my assets. The second child should get one third the assets. Half, one third. The third child should get one ninth of my assets. Half, one third, and one ninth. Okay, please keep these numbers in mind. Huh? Half, one third, and one ninth. 2, 3, and 9. And they were happy. And then assets, elephants are the assets. So they saw the elephants. And they said, wait a minute. We have 17 elephants. 17 elephants are there. And this man has written half and one third and one ninth. They were dumbstruck, and they were just, they didn't know. They were petrified. I don't know what word to use. They were petrified, they were shocked, and they didn't know what to do, because now we can't follow father's orders. Because those days people used to go by the spoken word, written word, and this written word done, can't be done. And so they were arguing, they were struggling, they were crying, they were screaming, and then this so happens that the minister was walking by, and because 17 elephants means the guy must be a rich man also. Rich means in that sense they were wealthy. And so what happened? What happened? Well, this is what happened. We are unable to execute this will. How do I execute this will? And the minister said, show me the will. And then saw the will, and he said, oh, immediately he saw the problem. Yeah, of course, it's not possible to execute this will. And so he said, anyway, it doesn't matter. Just let me, I can help you with this. Keep all the elephants. Where are your elephants? They're right in the backyard. Okay, all the elephants are all there in a straight time. So the minister said, just go back and stand there. I'll come. I'll join you guys. And so he after a minute or two, he also came inside. The minister came to the backyard and then stood. He came in his elephant, and with the elephant, he came inside and stood next to the elephant, next to their elephants. So now there's a big line of elephants. How many elephants? 17 plus 1, 18 elephants. So he said, okay, now execute your will, assuming that these are all your elephants. All right, one half goes to you, Vivek. All right, one half of 18 elephants is nine elephants. All right, nine elephants you take. All right, next word. One third of 18 elephants should go to the next person. Okay, one third of 18 is six. Okay, nine gone. Then six. Okay, this six you take. All right. Then what is the next one? One ninth of the elephant should go to the third. One ninth of 18 is two. Okay, two of the elephants. 9 plus 6, 15. Three more are left. Three more are left. I hope you're कुछ mathematics है यहाँ पर. Huh? So three more are left. And so he said, okay, one ninth of 18 is two. So two more are taken away. And then the minister took his elephant and walked away.
The same story comes as an episode in Tenali Rama with the diamonds, Guruji. That's not elephant, but diamonds.
Okay. So that 18th elephant is Maya. That for us, what is important for us is not the beauty of it, but the beauty of it related to Maya. Maya does her job and walks away. That is how Maya is. You understand, you bring in Maya to understand the whole picture, and then Maya will walk away. Maya is not required anymore after that. Okay, that's how that is what Maya is. Maya helps us make sense out of this. Ek sarvam kalu idam Brahma. Everything is one Brahma. But then there is so much. There is so much confusion. There is so much joy. There is so much sorrow. There is so many things happening. Unless you figure out, unless you bring Maya in, you can't make sense out of it. Maya comes in, goes away. It's like removing a thorn from there. Like those days, we used to walk and then constantly thorns. We used to come home with a thorn, and mother has to sit and take a needle and then keep taking that thorn away. And we used to look outside. We used to, it used to be painful. We used to do all that. And okay, that was a pin. But they say you have to use a thorn to remove another thorn, and then throw both the thorns away. Don't say thorn. Oh, this is a family. A family. What do you call that? Hereditary thorn. No, no such thing like that. Throw both away. So that is Maya. So like that Maya. Maya we see happening even in our own life constantly. We say we're all progressive beings, intelligent beings, 2025, and things are happening. All technologies they're changing so rapidly. Okay, but the shocking thing is we don't accept who we are. Okay, the guy in America is fair, white, and that person wants to become dark. And during spring break, they will go to Florida and other places, and they will sit under the sun so that they will just get fried. And then when you come back, you look at their faces; it's all brown and red. They look different. And I didn't understand what they were doing. It's all for a guy like a small the Indian guy going there to study. It's all new, very new. And okay, let that be. And what about the Indians? The Indians also, they look dark and they want to look fair. They apply fair and lovely cream. Have you heard of fair and lovely? Who am I to ask all of you? Fair and lovely it is called. Lovely, okay, I can understand. Fair and lovely. That's it. It sells like hotcakes in India. Fair and lovely. It's a big controversy also. They came up with some ads came and then everything. Anyway, so this guy wants to become fair and they want to become dark. Maya, the only answer I can give is Maya. I can't explain this thing at all. How I can explain it, please tell. Oh, Maya only it is. So that's how it is. Anyway, so Swamayaya, Kalpita Jiva Loke, a world that this person projects in the dream world. Okay, Sukha Dukkha Bhokta Bhavati. I think that also we saw. Sukha Dukkha Bhokta Bhavati. That dreamer continues to experience sorrow and joy, even in the dream. which later on I'm going to say, oh, it was a dream. But it was a dream is only later. But right now, this is real for me, absolutely real for me. Sukha dukkha bhokta. And and fortunately, there is deep sleep during the few hours that we turn off the lights and go to bed. There is something called deep sleep. If the deep sleep were not there, the human being will quickly commit suicide. That's it. Because we are looking forward to that sleep. Whatever happens in the daytime, at least the guy goes to sleep. Maybe perturbed, disturbed, all this is possible, but goes to sleep. That's why a person who cannot sleep uh, is going to be in a lot of trouble, and that's why medications help there. Why? Because I need few hours of sleep. Everybody wants that. That gives us the hope that something good will happen in the waking hours also. And so, the samsara cannot exist continuously. There has to be a break, and every day there is a break from samsara. The deep sleep provides us that respite. And so, he's going to talk about this sushupti kale. So after the swapna avastha, sushupti kale, sakale viline. Yeah, I'm looking at two different books. My notes I'm looking at. Then Swamiji's book also is there. So I'm just trying to see, important points that I want to. So in the dream, a dream has taken place, and there are experiences. Sukham and dukkham experiences are there, but it's not arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. Means there is a reason why the dream has occurred, and because there is no free will in the dream, absolutely no free will at all. That's a big difference between the waking state and the dream state. Otherwise, it's okay. That's one of the differences. No free will. No free will is there, and so that therefore papa and karma gets exhausted. I mean, papa and punya gets exhausted. Really, it gets exhausted. If there's a joyful experience, that's also a result of my own punya karma. And if there's a bad experience in dream, then also I was destined to exhaust that karma. And so that's a big difference. Purely exhaustion of karma. And then this person enters the sushupti avastha, sushupti kale. So our Maniprabha says for Sukha Dukkha Bhokta, he says Aham Sukhi. If those who have the book, those who don't have the book, don't worry, don't be disturbed and all that. This is because there are people in our class who are studying Shankara Bhashyam, and they are now got used to how Shankara explains something in the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads. And so that's why it's a good exposure for them. And others can understand where all this is coming from. How do you explain something like this? We also know how to explain, but we are not independently explaining something. We don't bring anything new to the table, really speaking. We don't bring anything new. Why? Because everything has been said and done. Shankaracharya says, I'm not telling you anything new. He's saying, what a statement he makes. I'm sitting on the shoulders of giants. Like that he talks. Okay. And so here also, Amaradasa, who is author of that text called Maniprabha. Maniprabha is the name of a text containing 11 Upanishads, commentaries on 11 Upanishads that Amaradasa has written. So Maniprabha is the name of that text. Sometimes they give a name to their text, and so that's what it is. So there he says, for this Sukha Dukkha Bhokta, Aham Sukhi, Aham Dukhi, Iti, Evam, Evam Rupa Pratyayavan. Means a person who has the Pratyaya. Pratyaya means the thought that I am enjoying, I am happy, or I am sad. That's it. That person is called a Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. Pretty straightforward. I mean, he doesn't even have to say that, but Amaradasan does. For every word, he gives a meaning. Every word, without an exception, whether it is easy to understand word or not easy to understand word, he gives a meaning. Okay, we'll see that shortly. So, Shukti Kale, Sakale Viline. So now deep sleep. Sakale Viline Sati. Hey, now Sakalam Jagat, the entire world that I had projected is all Vilinam. Vilinam means resolved. Nothing exists. There is not a single thought that happens in the mind. So, in the waking state, I was identified with the physical body and my Sukshma Shariram, namely my sense organs and mind, and the Karana Shariram, which I didn't know, but Karana Shariram, Avidya is very much there. All three Sharirams. Now I'm talking three Sharirams as opposed to three states of experience. We don't need to get confused. Then, once I am in a dream state, now my association with the physical body, Sthula Shariram, is gone. Gone means gone. There, I have no idea that I have a body. Literally, no idea is there. And so identification is gone. And what identification is there in dream? In dream, I am identified with my Sukshma Sharira. But not sense organs. Sense organs are not operating. In dream also it's not operating. But mind is operating. Mind is operating. Otherwise, how can you even think of anything? So mind is operating. Mind is part of Sukshma Sharira. And whatever experiences are happening in the mind, I suffer. I enjoy and I suffer both. That means I am relating. Whatever thought is happening in the mind, I am somehow identifying with it. Even in dream, even when I am helpless, still I am identifying. Identifying. So that identification is there. Identification with the Stula Shariram is gone. Identification with Sukshma Shariram is there. Then in deep sleep, even that identification is gone. There is absolutely no identification with anything. But in the background, Karana Shariram is there. What is Karana Shariram? Hey, when I wake up, I remember everything about myself. How? When I am gone, I'm pretty much gone in deep sleep. How I can remember everything? That means what? Hey, everything is there. The memory is also there. So everything about me. Who am I? My autobiography. Not just autobiography in this life, autobiography or biography of the past lives also. Everything is sitting there in Karana Shariram. Karana Shariram, where is it if you ask? Hey, it is avidya, it is ignorance. It is there all over the body. Just like Sukshma Shariram is there all over the body. Stula Shariram is there all over the body. Karana Shariram is ignorance. Wherever ignorance is, it is there. Okay. And we will say it's there all over the body. It is an entity which holds, it's the encapsulated, it's that which encapsulates everything about myself. Okay, whatever I consider myself to be. All right. So that Karana Shariram is very much there in this deep sleep state. And so all this Vikshepa and Avarana. Avarana is just covering, veiling is all not happening. Projection, Vikshepa, projecting a world. In waking state also it's happening. What's happening? I don't know many things. I don't know a lot of things. And when I don't know something, I have to project. I end up projecting. We give rope snake as an example, okay, to easily understand that avarana and vikshepa. But it's happening all the time. When two people are relating to each other, and we don't know the other person at all, really speaking. Other person does not know us completely. Even good friends don't know each other. They think they know each other, but really they don't know each other completely. There is always something I don't know about the other person. That is why between friends also there are moments of frustration because the one friend says, "You judge me. You made a judgment on me." Means what? We are judging somebody. That's a projection. Whenever a judgment is made, a projection is made on that person. No, you don't listen to what I say. That's it. Judgment is made. No, you had some ulterior motive. Judgment. And that person is going to come and say, what ulterior motive? What are you talking? That means what? I don't know so much, and therefore I make projections. And the minute I project, it is a cause for problem in relationships. Cause for problem. Marriage, this is what happens. Marriage during the initial stages, there is just pure joy, and the people honeymoon and all happens, and everything goes smoothly. Just wait for a few more days. Blessings are needed. That's why everybody has to bless their couple. Blessings are needed. Blessing, blessing, blessing. Why? Because after all these things are over, now projection will start. Previously also projection. What kind of projection? You are the greatest. It's a projection. You are the greatest thing that happened in my life. Projection. There is nobody greater than you. Projection. Nothing wrong. These are all okay. But now you have to come back to reality. Correct? Reality. Now reality is going to hit, and then only so it's going to play out. The drama is going to play out. And so we pray, prayer, constantly prayer. That's why I'm saying prayer must be that our day should start with a prayer. There is no exception to anybody. Even the greatest scientist has to start the day with a prayer. Because scientists are no exception to depression. We may be great people intellectually, this and that, but depression, anybody is subject to depression. And so therefore, projection. Don't think in waking state projections don't happen. It happens constantly. It is happening. When you don't know something completely, you will be forced to project. And that's why sometimes when in our conversation we say, "I think this is what's happening. Do you agree with me?" Do you agree with me? Okay. So that we say because there is a sense of doubt, and I may be making a mistake. That we accept. That's a good way of conversing with people. So therefore, um, now tamobhibhutah, tamobhibhutah, abhibhutah. See, what is the commonality? The author here, the Upanishad, wants to tell us a little about moksha also. He wants to say moksha is like deep sleep. Moksha is like deep sleep. Okay, what are the commonalities between moksha and deep sleep? Sukha Rupam Eti. What does he say here? This one. Sukha Rupam Eti. Joy. Joy. Pure experience of joy. That's fine. But there is a difference also. What is the difference? Here it is tamobhibhutaha. Tamobhibhutaha. It is clouded by tamas. It is clouded by ignorance. Tamas here is ignorance. I don't know who I am. And they say ignorance is bliss. That they say in the waking state, ignorance is bliss. And that is debatable. That's debatable. But here, literally, ignorance is bliss. That ignorance is just keeping me. What happens with the ignorance? There is no vikshepa, there is no avarana. And so, the nature of Atma being Ananda, it expresses itself. It expresses itself. Even though there is ignorance, through all the ignorance, it expresses itself because Atma has no choice but to express itself. If somebody says, you say Atma is the Ananda Swarupa, embodiment of Ananda. Somebody else says, oh, I'm the embodiment of Ananda, then in waking state, I should never experience sorrow. How can you say I'm an embodiment of Ananda? Well, here is an example. If I was an embodiment of sorrow and occasionally having joyful experiences, if that's your theory, if that's your proposal, then I'll come back to Sushupti and say in Sushupti, there is absolutely nothing stopping the Atma to express itself. So if Atma's nature was pure Dukkham, then Dukkham should express itself. Dukkham should be in full bloom. No, we all look forward to that Sushupti Avastha. So, therefore, that is one clue that the Atma, Atma that we are searching for, its nature is Ananda. So here he says, Because of being tamo vibhutaha, that sukharupam eti. But the Upanishad also wants to tell us, keep in mind in brackets, moksham api evameva asti. Moksha also is like this only. That will happen in the waking state. Waking state, when I know myself, then then the game is over. Game is over means it is I am none other than the joy, but none other than Ananda. Because finally what I want is Ananda. And within brackets, of course, body is still there. Body is still there, therefore there will still be pain. Pain will be there, body pain will be there. Emotional pain need not be there, but will not be there. But body pain will be there. Body will go through its own motions. That pain will be there. But that is not what is being talked about here. Ananda means that emotionally the person is completely free. That knowledge releases the person from being bound to just pure experiential joy and sorrow. Look at the big difference. Experiential joy versus the sukha rupam eti. Sukha rupam eti means the person cannot but experience joy. In the waking world, I need something to be happy. Correct? My children make me happy. My husband, my wife make me happy. My employer makes me happy. My work makes me happy. I need something or the other to make me happy. The weather makes me happy. But the minute I say my children and weather make me happy, then it is only a matter of time because before the weather makes me sad, before my children makes me sad, it is never one-sided. The minute I have surrendered my ananda to all these so many things that are there in front of me, then it's only a matter of time before the same things also become a source of sorrow. We know this very well. We know this very well. And so the minute there is a leak in the roof, then I know I'm sad now. Who is creating the sadness? This thing is creating sadness. This thing means what thing? If I didn't have a house, it would be better. Look, that roof is like this. This wall is like that. This is all discolored. That is that. We have to do painting. This that. So all the joy of having had the house is gone. Is gone. Nowhere in the picture. Now it's all problems to be solved. So anyway, we are aware of that, and so here, here a different kind of sukha rupam eti, and see, Amaradasa says, Maniprabha says, Shushupti Kale. He says what in your book? Ananda Bhoga Avasare. He defines Shushupti Kala. He simply doesn't say deep sleep. Sushupti means deep sleep. But now he is saying Ananda Bhoga Avasare. At the time when the Bhoga, then the experience of Ananda takes place. Within brackets, natural experience of Ananda. Without any thought, Ananda. That is what he is defining as Sushupti. Sushupti Kale. At that time, okay, at that time. So Paramarthanandaji says this. Nidra, Nidra. This dream he talks about as Alpanidra. Alpanidra means a small period when my mind is active and projecting a world. And then the waking state he refers to as Mahanidra. Mahanidra, from a different perspective, it's a sleep, it's a long sleep. We're going to talk about that shortly. And so, when that Mahanidra and Alpanidra are not operating, nothing is operating, that's it. I am unaware of anything that happens. I am unaware, absolutely unaware. And so, fortunately, that state of quote unquote unawareness is a joyful experience. And so, what he says here, Sakale Viline. Sakale Viline. Vilina means dissolved. Pralaya. So, all that same word, it is Laya. Viline. And so, Maniprabha says, Sakale. Sakala means everything. Maniprabha says, Nikhile. So Akhil, Nikhil, all these words mean the same thing. Complete, full, Purnam. Okay, Purne, Viline. But the Purnam is used for generally Atma, so they don't use the word Purnam for this one, even though that's what it means. Viline, Vishesha, Vijnane, Swakarane, Layangate. Layangate, resolved. Where did they get resolved? All these thoughts and all these aspirations, all the past and all the anxieties and all the joys, all those things, where did they get resolved? Hey, Swakarane, he says. Swakarane means that there is a Karana Shariram. It can't just disappear into thin air. That's the beauty. That's why scientists love Advaita Vedanta. This automatic appearance and disappearance doesn't take place. You understand what I'm saying? Automatically, things was created in 7 days, 6 days. Seventh day, sun was created. We can't accept all that. There is a song in the movie called Sound of Music. It's a 1964 or 65 movie. Many of you know this. There she's singing a song. Okay, she's singing a song. Who's that? That Julie Andrews is singing a song. Because this man suddenly falls in love with her and she says, My God, really? Did I deserve this? This is the idea. Did I deserve somebody loving me? Is that what? That's what she's asking. Okay. She says, Nothing comes out of nothing. She knows nothing comes out of nothing. All these religions are talking God created like this out of nothing. This Julie Andrews knows it. Nothing comes out of nothing because nothing could. I don't, all the lyrics I don't remember now. I think it's because nothing could. Nothing, she's telling nothing can come out. You don't know even this much. Nothing can come out of nothing. Therefore, so somewhere in my youth or childhood, nothing could, then childhood, I must have done something good.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I think that's how it comes. Correct. I think, okay, got it. So, I must have done something good. That means what? There she's saying, I must have done something good to deserve this good that is happening right now. She's talking about. She knows very well. She means that particular, whatever movie director, whatever knows, nothing comes from nothing. This is it. If our religious leaders understand this, our religions will change. Immediately they will start changing. They will start borrowing stuff from Advaita Vedanta. And so, Sakale Viline, why did I say all that? Hey, it has to go back to a place which is unmanifest. That which is what is going to produce the waking state. What wakes me up? The past karma is going to wake me up. Why is the alarm ringing? No, alarm woke me up. Okay. Why did you keep the alarm? You only kept the alarm for so and so time, 5:30, 6:30, 7, whatever it is, you kept it. Woke up. Woke up. Why? Because I have so many things to do. I can't keep on sleeping. There's so many things to do. It's all hidden right here. It's all karma. I am destined to wake up. And if I'm not destined to wake up, that also is hidden here. Correct? Everything is there in the Karana Shariram. Sakale Viline, he says, Swakarane Layangate. It goes back. All the experiences, all the past, whatever experience had to be exhausted, gone. That's it. Then whatever is unexhausted, it's all sitting there in the Karana Shariram. Layangate, Swakarane, he says, in its own cause. And that's why Karana Shariram is very important part. Otherwise, you can't explain all these things. How can you explain? When I wake up in the morning, I remember my name. How? Where is the rule that you should remember your name? Something must be there. Something must be there during deep sleep also. You can't say I'm completely lost. Completely lost means what? Define completely lost. We are defining properly everything. Swakarane layangate yetavan sushuptau mokshe cha samo nyayaha. Look at that. Okay, he's saying samaha. This much is common to both moksha and sushupti. This much. Which much? That sukharupam eti. That much is similar. Etavan sushupta mokshe cha samaha nyaya. Samaha. This much is common. Only this much is common. Okay. Then is there any difference between moksha and sushupti? Yes, there is a difference. Tamo vibhutaha. Tamo vibhutaha. Sushupti is tamo vibhutaha. What about moksha? Moksha is okay. Tama nasha bhutaha. He doesn't say it here, but that is what it is. Ignorance is gone. Once the ignorance is gone, then you can't come back. You can't say, I want to be ignorant. That also you can't say. Suppose you know algebra, basic algebra. You can't say, I want to be now ignorant of algebra. How can you ever say? You can say it if you want, but it can't happen. It can't happen. You know it means you know it. That's it. Anyway, so here, tamo bhutaha, iyanstu visheshaha, ajnana avritaha. He's using the same word. Ajnana avritaha. Iyan vishesha. Only this much is the difference between deep sleep and moksha. Iyan. So, ajnana avritaha. Hey, that avriti, that avarna, the same word is using. Avritaha. Clouded by ignorance. Clouded by ignorance. Ignorance of the self. I am not ignorant of so many things. I know so many things. I know how iPhone operates. I know how computers operate. I know this. I know that. I am the CEO of this company. Therefore, I have to know a lot. So much I know. But as far as Islam is concerned, Ajnana Avrataha, this guy is has this cover, cloud of ignorance. Okay. Exactly like when I don't when the when I am denied the existence of the rope, when I am denied the existence of the rope, when that avarana is there, then I have to either keep quiet, I can say I don't know what's out there. I can say that also. Or if the situation is just right, it's neither bright. If it is bright, I can easily see what it is. If it is dim, dark, pitch dark, I can't even see anything there. But if it is somewhere in between, neither too bright nor too dark, bright enough to see that there is something out there, but dark enough that I can't really see what it is, then projection, Vikshepa is waiting to happen. All my rajas is there, my anxieties, my aspirations, that whole thing that moves me from one day to another day. It keeps moving me. The human being is a survivor, keeps moving me, moving me. That just makes me project a snake on the rope. Okay. You can say I can keep quiet. Louder to go and figure out what it is. Yeah, it's possible. Some people will do that because maybe that rajas is not that active. We don't know how any person is going to respond to such a situation. You're going to have different responses. But still, there is a similarity of response also among all the people who project. Everybody projects a snake. Oh, there is an elephant in my room. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Nobody projects an elephant on a rope. Not possible. I can project a real elephant in a temple. I can go to a very big temple like the Mylapore Kapalishwara temple and huge temple, and then there is an elephant. The child says, "Oh, there is an elephant," and I'm afraid of the elephant. Then the parent has to say, "No, no, don't worry. It is a stone elephant. Come, I'll show you." So that kind of projection is possible. But so here, that blanket of ignorance, tamo vibhutaha, and Sukharupameti. That person experiences Ananda, but not even aware that I am experiencing Ananda. Even that awareness is not there. In waking state, awareness will be there. Every experience, I am aware of all the experiences I have, and I can respond to that. I'm so happy that you all came and visited me today. I'm so happy. I can express that also. But here, there is no awareness of happiness. Only after I wake up from the deep sleep, I say, Aham Sukham Aswapsam. I slept well. After that only I say. And then what? Aham na kinchid avedisham. It's not Shankaracharya's words. Aham na kinchid avedisham. I didn't know anything. Two things are there. I didn't know anything. That shows ignorance is very much operating. I didn't know anything. And aham sukham aswapsam. That means what? The nature of Atma is very much expressed there as Sukha Swarupam. So these two are there. And if I was aware that Swami Viditatmanandaji says, if I am aware that I am happy in deep sleep while I am sleeping, then that becomes a waking state, really speaking. Then the game is over. The game is over. But that's not the case anyway. And so, uh, therefore, now, having analyzed these three states of experience, see, you have a person, there is a lady, she has children at home, and the children call her mom, mother, amma, amma. And then she has a role to play, and she's playing that role. So, with respect to her children, she's amma. Then she steps out of the house, and then she talks to her friends, and they call her Gayatri. Gayatri, what happened? What did you decide to cook today? I decided, what are you all doing? So now the relationship is very different. Is tomorrow a holiday for you in school? No, tomorrow it's a work day for us. Okay. Now, the next day she's going to go to work, and there also she's relating to children, and there the children don't call her mom or amma and all that. She gets called teacher. She gets called Miss somebody, Miss Gayatri, ma'am, whatever words they use today, teacher. So now the children are relating different. So here she is ma'am, there she is amma, here she is Gayatri. Like this, she has so many other names. One person has so many other names. Exactly the same way. Here also, Shastram says this guy is different. Waking world is different. Relationships are different. The type of reality is different. Dream world, the entire relationship is different. So you know what? Shastram gives names for this guy. Same guy only, but gives names. Three different names. The waker, if I want to use the word in English, the waker is called Vishwaha. These are technical words. Vishwaha means only this thing. Waker is Vishwaha. The dreamer is Taijasaha. Look at that. Dreamer is Taijasaha. What Taijasa? That is because Tejas, that fellow is completely aware of what's happening. In such a world where there is really no space even for an elephant to go, this guy is able to imagine an elephant and mountains. There's no chance for mountains entering the head, and but still he's imagining all these things completely. There can't be such a brilliant guy, and so this guy should be given a name called Tejas. Tejas. No, I don't want you to get any complex. So my child, I should not name Tejas and all. Don't say Tejas is a good name. Okay, please name your child Tejas. Nothing wrong with that. But here he's called Tejasaha. Then Vishwa also is there, and we stop calling our children Vishwa. No, Vishwa is a good name. Please call Vishwam Vishnurva Shatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. So it's all there. Vishnu's name is Vishwa also. So we can give that name. Vishwaha, Taijasaha. And what about this sleeper? Does he have a name? Yeah, he should have a name because he's very different from these three. And that person is called Prajnaha. Prajnaha. Prakashena janati ti prajnaha. Prajna word has two meanings. One is one, the all-knowing is called prajnaha. The one who is ignorant also is called prajnaha. Prakashena ajnaha or prakashena jnaha also. Prajnaha eva prajna. Prajnaha like that. There are two meanings. So you can take both meanings. The guy is ignorant, totally ignorant. And so therefore, prajnaha, the guy is totally knowledgeable. Why? Because everything is there. Karana Shariram is there. He is the holder of everything that's going to happen, that's going to come next after a couple of hours. He's the what do you call that? He's the treasury. Okay, I'm trying to come up with some new words. He's the treasury. He's all knowing. He knows exactly all the accounts, everything, and so he's safeguarding it for the future. And so all knowing, Prajnaha. Okay. So they give these names, and so and there is an equivalent. There is an equivalent to that in the Samashti. This is Vyashti. Individual level, he is called Vishwaha, he is called Tejasaha, he is called Prajnaha. Individual. The individual is called like that. Jiva. Samashti. Also, there are names for that. So what about the Samashti? Stula Shariram. Samashti Stula Shariram is Virat. Virat, the collective gross body, the person who, the entity that identifies with the collective gross body, Stula Sharirabhimani, Samashti Stula Sharirabhimani, Virat. Technical word again, Virat. I think it must be there in Vishnu Sahasranam also. I'm not able to recollect the shloka. Virat. Then what about the collective Sukshma Shariram? Samashti Sukshma Sharirabhimani. Yes, Hiranya Garbhaha. We are familiar with that also. Hiranya Garbhaha. Because Sthula Shariram is not active in dream. Only Sukshma Shariram is fully active. Therefore, here it is like that. There, Hiranya Garbhaha. Which Puranas give the name of Brahmaji. For us, it is Hiranya Garbhaha. Alright. What about Karana Shariram? Ignorance. The sukshma, the samashti karana sharirabhimani. Okay, because that guy is all knowing and is about to create the whole waking world here. There also the person who is about to create the world is Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha, Brahman plus Maya is Ishvaraha. Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Prajnaha, Virat, Hiranyagarbhaha, Ishvaraha. That's how it works. And so these are all technical words, good to remember. And so there is a connection between the avasthatrayam, waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state, and to shariratrayam also. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Why? In the waking state, all three are active. Sthula Shariram is also active, but in dream state and sleep state, Sthula Shariram is not active. So Sthula Shariram is Pradhanam in the waking state, is uniquely acting in the waking state. Therefore, Sthula Sharira Abhimani Virat. Like that you connect to. And what about this dream state? Dream state, the gross body is absent. For all practical purposes, absent. Gross body is not working at all. It's as good as a dead body. Okay. So, I don't know if they use the phrase, but anyway, it's not good. Ponamari. So, I mean, Pona means what? I slept like a log. They say that. I slept like a log means what? Log it means it's dead wood. It's like a log. That's what it is. Log. So therefore, that's Stula Shariram gone in these two other states. And so here, Sukshma Shariram is active. Sukshma Shariram is the king in dream. And so that is what is highlighted in the dream state. And in Sushupti, in deep sleep, the Karana Shariram is highlighted. So there is a connection between Shariratrayam and Avasthatrayam. I hope you're following this. Some technical discussion here. All right, so let's go back to, did we finish Maniprabha? Sukha Rupam Eti. Look at this. Being Tamo Vibhutaha, being covered by tamas, ignorance, ajnana, avritaha. What happens? Sukha Rupam Eti Swaprakashamanam Anandatma Swarupam. Eti Gachati. Eti means gains, prapnoti, attains, reaches, experiences. Eti. Okay. And then what does he gain? Swaprakashamanam Anandatma Swarupam. Anandatma Swarupam. It is the Swarupam. It is the Swarupa of Atma. Ananda being the Swarupa of Atma is being expressed. How it is being expressed? Swaprakasha Manam. It naturally expresses. It doesn't need any trigger at all. For Atma's Ananda to express, it doesn't need any trigger. It only needs some cloud to stop it, apparently stop it. That's why I experience sorrow in waking state. My own likes and dislikes are there and they collide with what happens. I want things to happen in a certain way. I want to go take my family for an outing picnic and it's raining heavily. That's it, over. I'm sad now. So, Atma doesn't become sad. I become sad. The mind becomes sad because of all the pressures I have inside. There is no need for me to be sad. We can have a meeting and say, guys, it's raining heavily. What should we do? I don't think we can go to the picnic, can we? Camping. Yeah, what to do? Or should we take a chance and drive for 2 hours and hope the rain stops? Yeah, we could do that. What did we learn from this experience? We learned from this experience that things don't happen like the way we planned for. Good. That's a nice discussion to have after such a disappointing thing. But then we are sad, aren't we? Yeah. So should we stop planning in the future? Because planning is what makes us sad, correct? No, but that's not correct. We can't. How can you lead a life without planning? Okay, so we should plan, but we should not get sad. How should that happen? Yeah, that's a good discussion to have. Excellent discussion to have. So therefore, it's possible not to be sad, and it's possible to be sad also. Therefore, you know all that. So he says here, Swaprakasha Manam, Atma doesn't need a trigger at all. Its nature is Ananda and it expresses itself. Otherwise, in deep sleep, how can you be happy? Not possible. Okay? So, therefore, what is the conclusion of this mantra? The conclusion of this mantra is actually said by Amaradasa when he introduces the shloka itself. You know the way he introduces? Have to go back one paragraph just before the mantra and see. He says, Idanim Swapna Shushupta Yoho Vikshepa Tad Abhava Kathanena Samsara Moksha Yoho Arthat Drishtantam Aha. He's saying Drishtantam Aha. Upanishad is going to give us an example. And what kind of example? Samsara Moksha Yoho. Waking state and dream state are samsara. Deep sleep is what? Moksha. Okay, like that, by showing these three states of experience. Drishtantam. Drishtantam is an example. An example is this dream and this deep sleep. They are all examples only. And so he's saying that example is given to highlight that. Swapna sushupta yoho vikshepa tadabhava katanena. In Swapna there is vikshepa. There is projection. The whole dream world is my own projection. Vikshepa, massive projection it is. Only projection. Avarana is there, of course, but projection is what makes this dream lively. Okay. So Vikshepa, then Tad Abhava. And its absence. In Sushupti, there is absence of projection. So he's saying, hey, this projection is what creates samsara, and this absence of projection is equal to moksha. What a conclusion to draw from this shloka. Correct? He's saying the difference between samsara and moksha is highlighted in this mantra. Dream is samsara, deep sleep is moksha, he says. But sleep is sleep. How can I say I got moksha in deep sleep? I can't say. Yeah, therefore when you wake up, you have to understand all these things. Understand that, hey, what is the common denominator in all these three states of experience? Atma is the common denominator. I have to understand it, not just believe it. Initially, I have to believe it, but later on, I have to understand it. All these things are meant for understanding. Common denominator is Atma only. It can't be me, because if it can't be the waker. The waker is denied in the dream because I don't have free will. Waker has free will. What happened to the free will here? That means free will is not the reality. Free will is mithya. It is changing. Free will is not there in dream. I'm so helpless in dream. At least in waking state, I'm not that helpless. I have some control about what things I choose, what I can do, what I should pursue, what I should not pursue, when I should give up, when I should not give up. Everything I'm able to do in waking state that is absent in dream. Therefore, free will that is what distinguishes the human being from an animal. That free will is mithya. This analysis tells me it is mithya. I can say I'm blessed to have free will, and I'm blessed to make choices. Sometimes I make wrong choices. Sometimes I make the right choices. But I'm so blessed. And then deep sleep, this dream itself, the free will is not there. Therefore, I can't be free will. Free will is me, but I'm not free will. When free will is not me, free will is me, but I'm not free will. That means all the things I've accomplished using my free will. I have a whole resume to prove what all I did. Okay? I have a resume to prove, and it was all coming from this free will. And so I can say, all my accomplishments are me, but I am not those accomplishments. Pot is clay. The clay can say, the pot can say, oh my God, pot is me clay. I am clay. My Swarupam is clay, but clay is not pot. I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am not Ahankara. I am not Karta. I am not Bhokta. But Bhokta is me. Bhokta is sustained by me. Karta is me. Pot is me. Everything is me. Everything about the pot is me. But I am not that everything. I am not anything about the pot. If I were anything about the pot, then it should be there with me wherever I am there. But I am there in waking state. I am there in deep state, a deep sleep state. I am there in, dream state and deep sleep state. I am there throughout. To talk about my states, I must exist. Who is that I? That I cannot have any of these things that I call as myself, that I express through my resume. That's not me. Resume is me, but I am not resume. This is Vedanta. B is A is not B. Okay. That is what he says you should understand from this shloka. Okay, Swapna Sushupta Yoho Vikshepa Tad Abhava Kathanena Samsara Moksha Yoho Artha. So, very important. Important because in the West, waking state is analyzed. All the things the science does is a waking state analysis only. Psychologists also look at how a human being behaves in waking state. How the psychology, that whole science of psychology is the study of the mind and human responses and how emotions play out. And that is psychology. They are looking at the waking state. Okay, sometimes they may look at the dream also. Analysis of dreams happens. Good analysis of dreams. What can I learn from my dreams? Good. For our benefit, they analyze the dreams and they come up with some theories, and the theories can be used to help ourselves. Good. Use all these things to help yourself. We must use all these things. But they don't analyze the deep sleep. Deep sleep is only meant to be had. You have to sleep. That's it. So I can give you some medicines for you to go to sleep. That is a maximum. But our analysis of the states are for a different purpose altogether. We are not interested in knowing how a person dreams. What are the processes that happen? That is how scientists can work on it. We are not interested in knowing all those things. We are talking about the experience. What is common in this experience? What is not common? What is not common cannot be me. What is common only can be me. That is what I learned from this analysis. That is what is being said here. And so let's translate the shloka. Okay. So we are translating the shloka. Swapne sajivaha. Sukha Dukkha Bhavna. All right. The very same person, which I think Sahayeva Jivaha, I don't know if I explained. Did I explain? I must have explained in the last class. Sahayeva Jivaha means that very same person. Okay. Look at what Maniprabha says. He says, it's so beautiful to read all this. Very simple to understand. Sahayeva Jiva, that same person. Which same person? Which I was talked about in the previous mantra. That same person it has to be, right? And so that's what he said. Uh, Vividha Vishaya Vasanaha Vasitaha, he says. Now, Eva is not there, I think, in this mantra. Sorry, Eva Kara is not there in this mantra. Sahajiva, that same person. That same person. So, that person, Jagrat, because the waking state was described in the previous mantra. So, Jagrat, right? Paritripti Meti was there. So waking state, that same jiva only is going through all these experiences. Vividha Vishaya Vasana Vasitaha. The person who just some time ago, few hours ago, was saying life is great and this and that, and he was talking on and on about his life, and the guys who were listening to him got bored. That guy, right? Vividha Vishaya Vasana Vasitaha. That's what it means. Which means what? Which means by the word vasana, he says, hey, at the end of the day, all the things I put in my resume is not that relevant. It is important for sustaining a livelihood. It is important for getting some self-esteem. All that is very important. But beyond that, don't take it more seriously. Correct? Beyond that, don't take it more seriously. What can you do with that? Can you help yourself better? Can you help others? And can you ask the question, is there something in this world that I have not figured out yet? That I have to before I leave this world? Then then life is made. Okay? That's what he says. Vividha Vishaya Visana Vasana Vasitaha. Very interesting the way they write all this. Vasana. Finally, I do things only in accordance to my karma and my vasana. So the guy goes to the store. He wants to buy a shirt. He'll only buy this light yellow shirt. And the wife is screaming, what is this? Every time you're buying this yellow shirt, I am tired of this yellow color. Okay. He says, what can I do? I like yellow. What can I do? That's what he says. That means what? He's a victim of his own vasanas. Like, what can I do? I don't like blue. I don't like red. I don't like green. Allow me to wear yellow. What's your problem? Am I asking you to wear yellow color? Identification is there. Identification. If you wear yellow, I have a problem. Even though that is your body, this is my body. I'm not putting sari around all of us. I'm putting sari only around me. Okay. But still I have a problem with the shirt you are wearing. Identification. Kya karenge? So let's translate this shloka. The very same person experiences joys and sorrows. The very same person experiences joys and sorrows in his personal dream world, because it's written in masculine, saha, etc. In his personal dream world, experiences joys and sorrows in his personal dream world, okay, created by his own, created by his own projecting power, created by his own projecting power. Okay, full stop. In the state of deep sleep, comma, in the state of deep sleep, when everything is resolved, when everything is resolved, comma, having been overcome by having been overcome by the darkness of ignorance, having been overcome by the darkness of ignorance, comma, he attains the nature of happiness. He attains the nature of happiness. Okay, let me read that again. The very same person experiences joys and sorrows in his personal dream world created by his own projecting power. Full stop. In the state of deep sleep, when everything is resolved, having been overcome by the darkness of ignorance, he attains the nature of happiness. So we'll continue this in the next class. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ